Hello there, so Godot has just released Godot 4.5 beta 1, so it means that Godot 4.5 is indeed super close to that. And also, among all the amazing features, a main one, at least for me, are abstract classes. So I want to show you why exactly this is a complete game changer inside of the Godot engine, because you will indeed see how useful this is. This is not something that is explained in the post, that is explained in the documentation. It's quite hidden, it's not well documented, so I really recommend that you pay close attention. So let's say that, for example, I have this game in which the player moves around, and as you can see, there are a couple of obstacles. Well, this obstacle here shouldn't be rotating, but anyway. So, well, these obstacles, when we collide with them, we should lose, okay? So, for example, in this example in specific, what happens is that when we collide with the player, we decrease the lives of the player, okay? And of course, if the player has no more lives, the game is over. So in reality here, the console also prints how much life we have left, okay, how many lives we have left, okay? So we have already talked in previous cases about inheritance, so I don't want to dig deeper into that. What I just want you to know is that we have a base obstacle scene and 3 inherited scenes, okay? So any change that I make to this base scene, let's say that I add, let's add an O3D, for example, and I save the changes, well, it's gonna also take place in the instances, okay, of the scene, okay? Or in the child, or however you wanna call it. So that is scene inheritance. Then in a script inheritance, we have a base class base obstacle, okay? And then we have different things over here. And then we inherit this script, or we extend this script in different ones. So what happens, and then we also attach this script. So from here, the saw has this saw script, okay, which is basically this one. So it also has some properties. So for example, it has this bool can rotate, which determines, as you can see, we have it over here, whether or not we can rotate. So for example, these spikes should not be rotating. So let's disable that. Okay, so what basically happens is that all these objects share the exact same code, okay? And if we want to modify any of their codes, we just go to the base obstacle script. Now, not only that, but also what is interesting is that we can override some functions as we are doing over here. We have a collide with player function, which in the base obstacle, as you can see, is set to pass, okay? And this function is used, okay, when the obstacle collides with the player, we call this function, and then we override this in the different children. So for example, this one decreases lives by 1.5. This one decreases by 1. This one by 3, for example. So with this, you can do multiple different behaviors. Okay, that is the key thing over here. So for example, the saw decreases 1.5, the spikes 1, and the spike block Y, which is this one, decreases 3, which basically means that the game is going to be over because the initial lives are 3. As you can see, so here we have it in the console, 3. And if I collide with this one, as you can see, 1.5, so that is correct. With this one, I should have just 2 lives left, there we go, and with this one, I should directly lose, okay? So there you have custom behavior. So this is what we used to have until now, but now it's a little bit, like we have even more stuff. So when we take a look at here the syntax is awful, like I believe this is just one file, but this is not the true power of abstract classes. And actually the syntax is quite complicated, at least at first, so if I commit any mistake, just forgive me. So first of all, well, class name base obstacle, here they don't use class name, they use directly class. I don't want to dig into the differences, but here if we add abstract, this is now an abstract class, okay? This is something that was able to be done until now also. What abstract will do, at least in a class name, it will just mean that it is not a class that you can create it as a new class over here. For example, here the item class, as you can see, is an abstract class, so you can't create a new instance of that class. This is useful in pretty specific circumstances and in more advanced scenarios. This is not the case, at least for this project, but just for you to know that that is for the class. So for the class itself, maybe it's not that useful. Also, if we make this base obstacle class abstract, if we want to attach it to any object, basically, it's not gonna be possible. Let's try to do it. As you can see, tell us cannot set object script should not be abstract, okay? So it's a script that you cannot attach to any node. It's just a security measure because these classes are not actually meant to be instantiated or attached to any node. But you can of course attach the child node. So for example, here you have the saw, which inherits from base obstacle, but this one, as you can see, you can indeed throw it in any node. So that is for the abstract class, okay, that this is something that you were able to do. Now what you can do is to mark your functions as abstract. So previously, when you created a new script and you extended the abstract class, in this case base obstacle, and let's say that I do want to, the idea is that this function is always overridden, that you always set a behavior for this function. What you have to do is to manually remember, okay, and paste it and put here that you wanted to decrease lives, for example. So this is not completely bad, but this can lead to inconsistencies because sometimes you may inherit a class and you may not remember to implement some members. So this is when abstract methods actually become pretty interesting, because now we can add here abstract before func. Okay, so you can see we shouldn't be having any problem, rather than that this function should not have any default code or anything like that. And here this like this, it should be fine, but it should be like this exactly. Okay, so check the syntax because it may be different from what we are used to doing. You have to put abstract func, name of the function, parentheses, this symbol, and void. Or even if you don't want to add a void, you don't need to. Okay, but of course it's highly suggested. So as you can see, as soon as I saved, I got an error here in the saw class, because class saw must implement base class that collided with player. So what you can do right now is when you type func, for example, so I'm gonna put underscore, and I'm gonna put this one was collided with play. Well, this is a little bit buggy right now, but let's press enter and let's see if it is inserted. Okay, Godot closed, perfect. So let's go back again. In reality, this version is quite buggy, like Godot closes a lot when you try to use abstract functions and all that. But anyway, I wanted to show you this. So now when you type func collided with player, well, with this you should be able to just press enter, but I have also the comments here for some reason. So let me delete these comments and save again, and let's see if now it doesn't break. Okay, there we go. So collided with player, and now here I can do whatever I want. For example, instead of decreasing the lives, let's just say print collided with saw. So as you can see, now I don't have to remember this. Let's create a new script just so that we can see it even more. So here, in order to extend this base obstacle, there are different ways. You can type here the class name, okay? Or you can go to, it's this button, and here you can go to base obstacle. Okay, it doesn't appear. No, it wasn't here, but I believe it should appear here. So it's pretty weird. I don't know really why. Maybe no, but I guess I have all my changes saved. But anyway, if not, you can go to the files over here and select the script. But in reality, that's also not the best thing. So just type it here. And you can see as soon as you have created it, well, you will receive here this warning, or actually error, that will tell, okay, you must implement collided with player in this case. So let's type func collided with player, and now we can do whatever we want. Okay. Now, what could be interesting is that in some languages, such as in C#, in Unity, you have a shortcut to quickly type in the function. Like you right click here and you can press implement members or something like that, and it's automatically done. But anyway, it's not that bad. Probably they are gonna be improving this over time. So let me just delete this script over here. And once again, remember the setup that we have. So we have a base obstacle with no script attached, and we have different obstacles with their different scripts. So this one has the saw script. So if we collide with this saw, it's gonna print this message. If we collide with these spikes, it has this script, therefore it's gonna decrease 1 life. And if we collide with this one, okay, that's also an inherited scene. With this script, it's gonna decrease 3 life. So quite simple. So let's try it out. So I have lots of errors here for some reason, but I don't think they are something that is working incorrectly. So if I collide with the saw, as you can see, I have the message here collided with saw. So you can see how you can now write custom behaviors. Okay. And now let's do another test. So if I collide with the spikes over here, I should decrease 1 life. I think it was. Yes, so now we have 2 lives left. And if I collide with this one, I should decrease 3. So it should be -1. Okay, -1. So well, that is what I wanted to show you. Now, if you want to learn more about Godot and you liked my explanations, what you have are my own Godot courses, as you can see. So the course by default, this one is something like $65. But in reality, if you use the link in the description down below, you're going to be able to get it for something like $12.99. So that is a limited time offer. So in this one, for example, I'll show you how to create the 3D game that I was using as an example. I also have another Godot course. Okay, this is a little bit cheaper at the moment, but once again, using the link in the description down below, you get a huge discount. You can check, for example, that this one indeed has some reviews, okay, and over 40 students. And this one does not have any reviews right now because it's pretty new, as you can see. And it's also very long, okay, something like 11 hours, whereas this one is just 5.5 hours. And you also have a full Unity course of more than 21 hours of content. Once again, all links are in the description down below, and with those links you get amazing discounts.